Darius Thompson stood in a dark gas station parking lot at 11:47 p.m., staring at a crumpled $10 bill in his hand, his last $10, his daughter Zara's insulin money for tomorrow morning. Then he heard the sound. A massive Hell's Angel biker collapsed near his motorcycle, clutching his chest, lips turning blue. The gas station attendant locked the door from inside. No one else was around to help. Darius looked at the dying man, then at his $10. He thought about 8-year-old Zara waking up hungry tomorrow, but he couldn't just walk away. What Darius didn't know, this choice would bring 100 motorcycles to his doorstep by sunrise, and the truth behind it would shatter everything he thought he knew. Let me take you back to earlier that evening, before everything changed. The alarm went off at 5 a.m., like it did every single day. Darius dragged himself off the air mattress on his bedroom floor in the tiny apartment he shared with Zara at 2847 Brush Street, Detroit. The place was small, run down, in a neighborhood that had seen better days. But it was home. He walked into the kitchen, opened the cabinet. One box of Cheerios, almost empty. Half a carton of milk in the fridge. He poured the last bit into Zara's bowl, made it stretch as far as it would go. Zara came padding out in her pink pajamas, rubbing her eyes. "Morning, Daddy." "Morning, baby." He kissed the top of her head and set the bowl on the table. He didn't make one for himself. There wasn't enough. This was life now, counting every dollar, stretching every meal, praying nothing unexpected happened because there was no cushion, no safety net, nothing to fall back on. Darius worked 2 jobs, mornings washing dishes at Romano's Italian for $11.50 an hour, evenings stocking shelves at Save More for $12 an hour, 72 hours a week. His car had broken down 6 weeks ago. He couldn't afford the $600 repair, so now he walked everywhere. Miles to work, miles home, in worn Timberland boots with the sole separating on the left foot. The bills kept coming. Rent was due Friday. He was 3 months behind, $2,550 owed. The landlord had already threatened eviction twice. Zara's insulin needed refilling tomorrow, $9.85 at the clinic pharmacy. The electricity bill had a pink overdue notice taped to the fridge. But Darius didn't complain. He'd learned a long time ago that complaining didn't pay bills. His grandmother had raised him with one simple rule. Kindness costs nothing, baby, and sometimes it's all we got to give. That Tuesday started like every other day. He walked Zara to the neighbor's apartment before school, then headed to Romano's. 8 hours in a 110-degree dish pit. Plates, pots, pans, over and over. At 2 p.m. he clocked out and walked to Save More. His overnight shift didn't start until 11 p.m., but the manager pulled him aside. "Thompson, we're cutting hours, 4 nights a week instead of 5. Darius's heart sank. That was $192 less per month. Rent was already impossible. By 11:43 p.m., he was exhausted. He stopped at the Shell station on Woodward Avenue for the restroom before his 2.3-mile walk home. Under the flickering fluorescent lights, he pulled out his wallet, counted his cash. One $10 bill, 2 ones, 37 cents in change. Total, $10.37. He did the math in his head. Zara's insulin, $9.85. That left 52 cents. Breakfast tomorrow. The 2 ramen packets at home. He folded the bills carefully and put them back in his pocket. That's when he heard it, gasping, choking. He turned. A massive man stumbled near a chrome Harley-Davidson, 6'4", gray beard, arms covered in tattoos, black leather vest with patches, Hell's Angels logo, the skull with wings. The man grabbed his chest, his face twisted in pain. He dropped to one knee. Darius froze. The man collapsed onto the pavement. His breathing came in short, desperate bursts. His lips were turning blue.
The gas station attendant stepped outside, cigarette in hand. "Lady, you crazy? That's a Hell's Angel. Leave him alone. Those guys are nothing but trouble." "He's having a heart attack," Darius shouted. The attendant shrugged. "Not our problem."
An older man in a lion's cap walked out with Doritos. He saw the scene, walked over, grabbed Darius's arm gently. "Son, don't get involved. People like that are dangerous. Just walk away." Darius pulled his arm back. "A man is dying." The trucker shook his head and walked to his car, drove off without looking back. Darius stood alone in the parking lot with the dying stranger. Every instinct screamed at him to keep walking. This wasn't his problem. He had Zara to think about. He had enough trouble in his own life. But then the man's chest stopped moving. And Darius remembered. 8 years ago, his grandmother, Lorraine, collapsed on a sidewalk in Atlanta. A stroke. People walked past her for 18 minutes. By the time someone called 911, it was too late. Darius was 26 when he got that call. He'd never forgotten it. Never be the person who walks past. Darius dropped to his knees beside the stranger. Sir, can you hear me?" The man's eyes fluttered. He tried to speak. Only a wheeze came out. "Heart, meds, forgot." Darius ran to the door, pounded on it. "Call 911, he's dying." The attendant rolled his eyes but picked up the phone. Darius scanned the shelves, grabbed aspirin and water, ran to the counter. $6.50. He pulled out the $10 bill. Zara's insulin. Tomorrow morning she'd wake up asking for breakfast, and he'd have crackers. His hand trembled. He laid the bill on the counter, didn't wait for the $3.50, ran back outside. The man's chest still wasn't moving. Darius twisted the aspirin cap off, crushed 2 tablets, opened the man's mouth, placed them on his tongue. "Chew, come on!" He poured water slowly. Then he started CPR, 30 compressions, 2 breaths, 30 more. "Please don't die, please." The man's chest heaved. He coughed, gasped, his eyes opened, icy blue, sharp. Sirens wailed in the distance. You stayed," the man rasped. "Ambulance is coming. Just hold on." The man grabbed Darius's wrist. "What's your name?" "Darius. Darius Thompson." "You got kids?" "A daughter. She's 8. Something shifted in the man's eyes. Paramedics rushed in. A female EMT looked at Darius. "Did you give him aspirin?" "Yes, 2 tablets. Smart move. You probably just saved his life." They loaded the man onto a stretcher. He reached into his vest, pulled out a business card. Plain white, just a phone number and a logo, a silver phoenix rising from flames. "Tomorrow morning," he whispered. "Answer your door." The ambulance doors closed. Gone. Darius stood alone. 12:17 a.m. He had $3.50 in change. Not enough for insulin. A 2.3-mile walk home in the rain. 4 hours until his alarm went off. What had he done? What Darius didn't know, across town, in that ambulance, the man was making a phone call. "Get everyone," he said, oxygen mask pulled down. "I found him." "How many?" "All of them. 100 motorcycles on his street by sunrise." Darius's alarm went off at 6 a.m. He hadn't slept. For 4 hours he'd stared at the ceiling, replaying everything. The man's blue lips, the $10 bill leaving his hand, the business card now sitting on his nightstand. He dragged himself to the kitchen, opened the cabinet. Empty Cheerios box, 2 ramen packets, a sleeve of saltines, maybe 8 crackers total. He opened the fridge. The milk had expired yesterday. Sour smell. 4 ketchup packets from McDonald's. Tap water. Zara's insulin pen sat on the counter, empty. She'd used the last dose this morning. The clinic opened at noon. He had $3.50. He needed $9.85. How do you tell your 8-year-old daughter she can't have her medicine because you gave the money to a stranger? Footsteps behind him. Morning, Daddy. Zara stood there in her 2 small pink pajamas, sleeves above her wrists, Disney socks with holes in both heels, medical alert bracelet on her small wrist, type 1 diabetic. Darius forced a smile. His voice cracked. Morning, baby. She looked at the empty table. What's for breakfast? His throat closed up. He turned to the sink so she wouldn't see his face. How about crackers and water? We'll call it a special breakfast. Zara didn't complain. She never did. She walked to the cabinet herself, pulled out the crackers, counted them, took 4, left 4 for him. Half for you, half for me. That's fair, right? Darius gripped the counter edge. His hand shook. Every choice he'd made led to this moment. His daughter dividing 8 crackers because her father couldn't afford breakfast. 3 sharp knocks at the door. Darius opened it. Mrs. Elaine Booker stood there, arms crossed, face tight. Darius, baby, we need to talk. Morning, Mrs. Booker. Everything okay? She stepped closer, lowering her voice. I heard you helped one of those biker thugs last night. One of those Hell's Angels. His stomach dropped. How did you... Kyle Brennan's cousin lives in this building. Word travels fast. Child, those Hell's Angels are criminals. Drugs, violence, all kinds of mess. What were you thinking? He was having a heart attack, Mrs. Booker. I had to help. You got Zara to think about. Those people are dangerous. He was a human being who needed help. That's all I saw. Mrs. Booker shook her head, disappointment written all over her face. You're too kind for your own good, Darius. That kindness is going to get you hurt one day. Mark my words. She turned and walked back to her apartment. The door closed. Had he made a mistake? What if she was right? At Romano's that afternoon, Darius told Linda everything during his break. The gas station, the biker, the heart attack, using his last $10. Linda's eyes went wide. You helped a Hell's Angel? Girl, you're braver than me. Or stupider, Darius muttered, according to Mrs. Booker. Linda grabbed his hand. Baby, you did what your heart told you to do. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about that. But what if she's right? What if I brought trouble into Zara's life? You saved a man's life, Darius. That's never the wrong thing to do. He wanted to believe her, but doubt gnawed at him. During his break, at 3:47 p.m., he pulled out the business card. Plain white. Phone number, 313-555-0147. Silver Phoenix logo embossed on it. No name, nothing else. Should he call? What did answer your door tomorrow morning even mean? His phone rang. Unknown number. The card's number. 7 rings. His thumb hovered over accept. It went to voicemail. 30 seconds later, he listened to the message. Darius Thompson. My name is Axe. I'm calling on behalf of Steele, the man you saved last night. He's recovering well because of you. He wants to meet with you, today. Murphy's Diner, 5th Street and Rosa Parks Boulevard, 4:30 p.m. It's important. Please come. Darius checked the time. 3:52 p.m. He had 38 minutes. Walking toward the diner, he noticed them 2 blocks from Romano's. 2 motorcycles parked across the street, chrome Harleys, 2 men in black leather vests, watching him. When Darius looked at them, they nodded, respectfully, then rode off. His heart pounded. They were following him. They knew where he worked. 1 block later, a different motorcycle, different rider, also watching, also rode away when Darius noticed. What had he walked into? If this is making your heart race, drop yes in the comments. because what happens next will shock you. Don't click away now. By 5:55 p.m., after the meeting at Murphy's Diner, Darius walked back to his apartment building. 3 neighbors stood on the front steps. They stopped talking when he approached. Marcus Williams, 45, spoke first. "Darius, heard you got mixed up with some Hell's Angels." "I helped someone having a heart attack, that's it." Teresa Pinzales, "Kyle's cousin said there were motorcycles following you today." Old Mr. Patterson added quietly, "Those people don't just forget things, son. You helped one of them, they'll remember. Question is, what do they want? My cousin in Chicago got involved with a biker gang once. Started small, ended bad. Just be careful, man, for Zara's sake." They all went inside, left Darius standing alone. That evening, Zara looked up from her homework. "Daddy, Mrs. Booker seemed mad this morning." Darius sat beside her. "She wasn't mad, baby, just worried." "About what?" "Sometimes grown-ups worry about things that turn out to be okay." "Did you do something bad?" He pulled her close. "No, baby, I helped someone who needed it. That's never bad." She looked up at him with complete trust. "I know, Daddy. You're the best person I know." Darius held his daughter and felt the weight of every choice. The insulin she needed, the rent he couldn't pay, the custody hearing Friday, and now, mysterious bikers watching him. What have I done? At 11:42 p.m., lying on his air mattress, Darius couldn't sleep. He pulled out the business card again, turned it over in his hands. Why a phoenix, rising from ashes? Rebirth, second chances. His phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. "Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., be ready." Darius typed, "Ready for what?" No response. At 2:37 a.m., a sound woke him. Low rumbling, distant, getting closer, like thunder. He walked to the window, looked out onto Brush Street. Dark, empty, but the sound continued. Then stopped. At the corner, barely visible in darkness, he saw it. A single motorcycle, headlight off. Someone sitting on it, watching his building. Darius stepped back from the window. His phone buzzed. "See you at sunrise, Darius Thompson. Everything you've been through is about to make sense." Clock, 2:41 a.m. Sunrise in 3 hours and 47 minutes. What Darius didn't know. Across Detroit, in a warehouse parking lot, 100 motorcycles lined up in perfect formation. Steele stood in front of them all, recovered, strong. "This is the one," he told his crew. "The man who chose kindness over survival, who gave his last dollar to a stranger, who didn't see my vest, he saw a human being." He pulled out a photograph, the one that fell from Darius's wallet at the gas station. Zara, 8 years old, beautiful smile, medical bracelet visible. "Tomorrow morning, we show him what that means. Everyone clear on the plan?" 100 voices. "Yes, sir." "Good, because we're not just changing his life." Steele looked at the photo of Zara one more time. "We're saving it, just like he saved mine." Roll out at 5:45 a.m., Brush Street, and bring everything. Would you have trusted them? Comment below and stay till the end, because the next 60 seconds will leave you speechless. Darius's eyes snapped open at 6:03 a.m. Not from his alarm, from sound. Low rumbling, like distant thunder, but constant, getting louder. Windows rattled in their frames. Car alarms started going off outside. He jumped up, ran to the window, pulled back the curtain, and froze. Motorcycles. Hundreds of them. Brush Street was completely lined with chrome Harleys in perfect military rows, black leather everywhere, Hell's Angels vests, patches, logos, skull symbols, over 100 riders standing beside their bikes in complete silence. 2 semi-trucks at the end of the block. Waiting. "Oh my God," Darius whispered. Behind him, Zara ran to the window, stood on tiptoes. "Daddy, why are there so many motorcycles?" His voice shook. I don't know, baby." "Are they here for you?" He had no answer, but deep down, he knew. They were here for him. Doors started opening up and down the street. Mrs. Booker stepped onto her porch, saw the motorcycles, screamed, ran back inside. 3 deadbolts clicked. Marcus Williams came out with his phone. "I'm calling the police. There's a gang on our street." Teresa Gonzalez grabbed her 3 kids, pulled them inside. Windows slammed shut. Mr. Patterson stood on the steps, face pale. "Jesus Christ, it's an invasion." Parents pulling children back inside, some calling 911, others taking photos, fear spreading like wildfire through the neighborhood. Darius made a decision. "Zara, stand aside. Lock the door behind me. Don't open it for anyone except me." "Daddy, I'm scared." He kissed her forehead. "It's gonna be okay, baby. I promise." He didn't know if that was true, but he said it anyway. The moment Darius stepped outside, neighbors surrounded him. Marcus grabbed his shoulder. "Darius, what did you do? Why are they here?" "Teresa, you brought a gang to our street. Our kids live here." "Mr. Patterson, we have to call the police." Mrs. Booker's voice shook. "I told you, Darius. I warned you." More voices joined. "What were you thinking?"
"You put us all in danger. How could you do this?" 10 neighbors pressed around Darius, pointing, shouting, blaming. I didn't mean." His voice drowned out. The crowd got louder, angrier. Someone pushed him. Darius stumbled backward. This was it. He'd destroyed everything. His neighbors hated him. Zara was terrified inside, and 100 Hell's Angels were watching. Then a voice cut through the chaos. "Folks, please." A man stepped forward from the motorcycle line. 31 years old, white, covered in tattoos, muscular build, Hell's Angels vest. Hands raised, not threatening, calming. "We're not here to cause trouble." Marcus shouted. "Then why are you here? This is a residential street." "Teresa, stay away from our families." The man's voice stayed calm, measured. "My name is Axe. I'm a volunteer with the Phoenix Collective, a non-profit organization that helps struggling families across Michigan." Silence. Confused faces. "Non-profit?" Mr. Patterson stepped forward. "Non-profit? You're Hell's Angels." "Yes, sir, we are. And we're also human beings who've spent the last 22 years helping people." A woman stepped forward from the line, 58 years old, silver gray hair and a braid, kind face. "My name is Raven. 22 years ago, my 10-year-old son died because I couldn't afford his leukemia treatment. I was a single mother working 3 jobs." Her eyes filled with tears. "After I lost him, I co-founded the Phoenix Collective with Steele, the man Darius saved 2 nights ago." Another biker stepped forward, a massive black man, 6'5". "I'm Marcus Washington. I was homeless for 3 years after my football career ended. The Phoenix Collective saved my life. Now I help others."
Mr. Patterson walked to the center, stood in front of Axe and Raven, tears streaming down his weathered face. "I judged you, all of you. I saw the jackets, the motorcycles, the tattoos. I didn't see the hearts underneath." His voice broke. "I told this young man to let Steele die because I was afraid of people I didn't understand. I was wrong, and I'm deeply sorry." He extended his hand. Axe shook it. Mrs. Booker stepped forward, wiping her eyes. Lord, forgive me. I told Darius he made a mistake helping you, but he didn't. He showed us who we should be. She walked to Darius. Baby, I'm so sorry. You were braver than all of us. The crowd parted. A man walked through. Gray beard, shaved head, Hell's Angels vest, walking cane. Face serious but warm. Steel. He stood in the center and looked at Darius, then addressed everyone. I get it. You saw 100 motorcycles this morning and got scared. That's what society taught you. But this man, he pointed to Darius, he didn't see any of that. Steele's eyes glistened. 2 nights ago, I collapsed at a gas station. Heart attack. Darius had just finished 16 hours of work. He was walking home with his last $10. A gas station attendant told him to leave me. A trucker told him to walk away. The street went silent. But Darius used that $10, money meant for his daughter's insulin, to save my life. He didn't know who I was, didn't care about the vest. He saw a human being who needed help. Steele looked around at the neighbors. That's the world I'm trying to build, where people see people, not stereotypes, not assumptions. He turned to Darius. You showed me that world still exists. Now it's my turn to show you what that means. Steele nodded to the trucks. Back doors opened. Bikers started unloading boxes. Groceries, furniture, toys, clothes, medical equipment. The neighbors who'd been terrified minutes ago started helping. Marcus grabbed a box. Where do you want this? Teresa directed traffic. Careful with that bid frame. Mrs. Booker organized kitchen items. The entire street came together, enemy to ally, in 10 minutes. Steele pulled Darius aside, away from the crowd. He pulled out a photo from his wallet, handed it to Darius. Younger Steele standing with a beautiful woman. Between them, a little girl, maybe 7, bright eyes, huge smile, hospital gown visible. That's my daughter, Lily. She died when she was 7. Leukemia. Darius looked at the photo, then at Steele. We couldn't afford treatment fast enough. By the time we got the money, it was too late. She died in my arms. Tears on Steele's face. She said, Daddy, don't be sad. Help other kids like me. So that's what I did. 22 years, 8,000 families. He looked Darius in the eye. I know about Zara. I know about your custody hearing Friday. I know you're 3 months behind on rent. I know you work 72 hours a week and still can't make it. How do you... Because I lived it. I was you 22 years ago. Are you crying yet? Tell me in the comments, and whatever you do, don't stop watching. Axe approached with a folder. Handed it to Darius. We did our homework. Fast, but thorough. Darius opened it. His hands shook. Document 1. Rent receipt. Paid in full. Next 12 months. $10,200. Document 2. Letter from pediatric clinic. Zara's insulin covered. Full year. No cost. Document 3. Utility bills. All paid current. $847. Document 4. Court documents. 6 sworn affidavits from neighbors and employers documenting Darius's character, ready for Friday's custody hearing. Darius couldn't speak. The papers blurred through his tears. Raven stepped forward, handed him an envelope. Inside, a job offer letter. Position: Detroit Community Coordinator, the Phoenix Collective. Salary: $58,000 a year. Benefits: full medical, dental, vision for employee and dependents. Start date: immediate. $58,000.
He made $23,500 working 72 hours a week. This was more than double, with Zara's medical covered. Darius's knees buckled. He collapsed onto the sidewalk, the folder scattered, papers everywhere. Sobbing, uncontrollable. 22 years of struggle, 3 years of single fatherhood, 72-hour weeks, choosing between food and medicine, walking miles in shoes with holes, watching his daughter eat crackers for breakfast. All of it came crashing down. Raven knelt beside him. "Let it out, baby. You've been holding it too long." Steele's hand on his shoulder. "You're not alone anymore." The crowd of bikers and neighbors formed a circle around him, silent, respectful, witnessing his release.
The apartment door opened. Zara ran out. She'd been watching from the window. She ran to Darius, wrapped her small arms around him. "Daddy, why are you crying?" Darius pulled her close, held her tight, voice breaking. "Happy tears, baby. These are happy tears." "Really?" He nodded, smiling through tears. "Really. Everything's gonna be okay now. We're gonna be okay." Zara saw all the people, the bikers, the neighbors, the trucks. She looked at Steele. "Are you the man Daddy saved?" Steele knelt to her level. "Yes, I am. And your daddy is a hero." "I know. He's my hero too." Mrs. Booker wiped her eyes. Marcus held his son, both tearing up. Teresa explained to her children what real kindness looked like. Mr. Patterson stood with his hat off, hand over heart. The bikers, tough men and women, had tears streaming down their faces. This is what transformation looks like. If this story is hitting you hard, drop a heart emoji below. And don't you dare click away, because what happens next proves kindness always comes back. Steele stood. "Darius, there's one more thing." He pulled car keys from his pocket. "We bought your car from Impound. 2008 Honda Accord, fully repaired. New transmission, new tires, full tank. It's around the corner." Axe added, "And we enrolled Zara in the after-school program at Jefferson Elementary. Full scholarship, tutoring, meals, activities. No more worrying about childcare." Steele pulled Darius aside one final time. "Your job is simple. Find families like yours, people working multiple jobs, barely making it but still kind. Use everything you went through as your superpower, because you know exactly what they're facing." "When do I start?"
Steele smiled, pointed across the street. "Right now. See Mrs. Patterson? Apartment 4D. She's 79, can't afford her heart medication, cuts pills in half to make them last. That's your first case." 6 months later, Darius helped 89 families, paid rent for 23, covered medical bills for 31, job training for 18 parents. The Darius Thompson Family Center opened on the vacant lot at Brush Street. Food bank, medical clinic, job training center, after-school programs, named after him. One afternoon, Darius drove to the Shell station where it all started, stood in the exact spot Steele collapsed. He placed a small plaque on the wall. Here, a small act of kindness changed everything. The Phoenix Collective. The gas station attendant, Kyle, walked out. "You're that guy from that night." "Yeah. I told you not to help him. I was wrong. I've been following your story. It's incredible." He extended his hand. "I'm sorry." Darius shook it. "Thank you." As he turned to leave, he saw someone, a young Latino man, maybe 22, sitting on the curb by the pumps, head in his hands, crying. Darius walked over. "Hey, you okay?" The young man looked up. "My car broke down. I was on my way to a job interview. First one in 3 months. I missed it." His voice broke. "My mom is sick. I'm the only one working. I don't have money for a tow truck. I don't have money for anything." Darius pulled out his wallet, counted bills. $200 cash. He pulled out 100. "Here, get your car towed, or Uber to the interview if they'll reschedule." I can't. I don't even know you. You don't have to. Darius handed him a business card. The Phoenix Collective logo, silver phoenix rising from flames. When you're back on your feet, help someone else. Pass it on. The young man's eyes widened, reading the card. Wait, are you Darius Thompson? I saw you on the news. Just someone who learned that kindness is never wasted. I'll pay you back, I promise. Don't pay me back, pay it forward. The cycle continued. 1 year later, the anniversary celebration at the Darius Thompson Family Center drew 500 people. Families helped, bikers, neighbors, news crews. The display board showed the numbers. Families helped, 347. Medical bills covered, $892,000. Job placements, 89. Children and programs, 156. Darius took the microphone. A year ago, I stood in a parking lot with $10, my daughter's insulin money, and I had to choose. Everyone told me to walk away, but I remembered my grandmother who died because people walked past her. His voice broke. What I learned is this: we judge too fast. We see the jacket, the tattoos, the neighborhood. We forget to see the person. The people I feared most became my family, and the kindness I gave came back 1,000 times over. He looked at the crowd. If I could go back to that night, knowing everything, would I make the same choice? He smiled. Every single time. The room erupted. Darius looked directly at the camera. So here's my question for you. Who can you help today? You might not have $1,000, maybe just 10 or 5, or just your time, but someone needs exactly what you have. Who have you judged unfairly? What person did you walk past because of how they looked? What would you do with your last $10? Choose kindness or choose fear? If this story moved you, don't just watch and forget. Act. Help someone this week. Tell me in the comments about a time kindness changed your life. If you believe in second chances, if you believe people are more than their appearance, share this story, because kindness spreads. I learned that kindness is never wasted. It multiplies, it comes back, and sometimes the people we're most afraid of are the ones who'll save us. My name is Darius Thompson. This is my story. Behind him, Zara, Steele, and the entire Phoenix Collective crew stood together. Banner above them, kindness multiplies. Drop amen if you believe kindness wins. Share this with someone who needs hope today. More stories coming soon.